Hey everybody, Kriss here. Welcome on a Monday. What an exciting trading day in crypto we've had today. And we're not done yet. It's still trading. We still have big price movement going on, big trading volume. It's been quite a day. And that intro that we had for the rocket ship for Dogecoin to the moon, well, that was really Bitcoin today, wasn't it? Bitcoin 50K, unbelievable. Yes, we had 50K. We're now at 49.9. But yeah, it's been toying with this 50K line here. I should actually put that line on here, shouldn't I? 50K. Just been flirting with it up and down. Bitcoin 50K. Last week, who would have thought, right? Bitcoin trading up to 50K so soon. Some were wondering whether it would even hit that by the halving, which is still a couple months away. But here we are, 50K. So huge trading on Bitcoin as Bitcoin did this big rally this morning. What's going on? We'll cover that as well. I'm sure many of you have heard others talk about it. I will give my take. But also, what's going on with Dogecoin? And why didn't Dogecoin go up as much as Bitcoin did? And I mean, yeah, there's a lot going on. Bitcoin dominance has kind of spiked up a little and came all the way back down with this big trading of Bitcoin. What's up with that as well? So a lot to talk about. Let's get this Doge chart back up here with, I'll talk about my lines in a minute, but we'll say hello, Flying Tiger, with my epic intro. Glad you enjoyed it. Ryan says, Kriss time. Dogecoin, start your engines. Because I think we're going to see some great trading this week. Yeah, textbook. We had some textbook trading today. Yep. Yeah, Matt, I'm not going to do a tutorial step-by-step with Ledger. There are some others who have done that on YouTube. So just do a YouTube search on setting up a Ledger hardware wallet, and you'll be able to see that. But because mine is already set up and I don't plug it in unless I absolutely have to because of security reasons, I'm not going to do a video on how to do it. So that's just my take on it there. So Lord Drip, greetings. Hey, Doge Lux. So Dogecoin, I mean, I drew this orange line here, and that kind of reflects trading from Sunday, where we were holding about 815 as support. And then, Sunday evening dropped below it, came back, retested. That's typical trading. That's your textbook trading right there. And then Doge traded down. Now, why did Doge trade down? Well, Bitcoin was kind of trading up and down, but that downward trend on Bitcoin just hit Doge a little further. Again, like I've been saying before, without its own catalyst, without its own big news, when Bitcoin goes up, Dogecoin goes up, but not as much. When Bitcoin goes down, Dogecoin goes down just a little bit more. That is the cycle we've been in, and that hasn't changed yet. So that's the mode we're still in. Still good to see Doge up here where it is now at 820. But what we saw overnight was Doge dipped down. That first dip was right below 8 cents. Second dip, even further below 8 cents, 795. And then finally traded down and traded for a couple hours below 8 cents. So this area right here on Dogecoin, and if you woke up this morning and saw that down there, again, that was your accumulation sign. That was the dip. Buy some more Doge, especially going into 9 o'clock East Coast time. Because what does that mean? That means that the Bitcoin ETFs were going to start trading. And that's what happened right there, right at 9 o'clock, Bitcoin ETFs start trading, which means BlackRock, Fidelity, ARK, buying more Dogecoin. And that's what happened. Bitcoin just wouldn't stop. Took one little breather right here at 49K and then traded right up to 50K. And what did Doge do? Doge followed. A little bit slower, but traded up to 815, hit it again. This was support, became resistance, was resistance again this morning, traded down, and then traded back up, came back and retested, and just classic. Just a classic trading pattern you see right here for Doge. Unfortunately, Doge is only up 1%. Bitcoin's up 3%. You would think, wow, Bitcoin only 3%. Well, that 3%, again, you start getting up higher in Bitcoin. Bitcoin goes up 2,000. It's a lower percentage. When Bitcoin went from 18K to 20K, that 2,000, that was a big percentage. But now 48K to 50K, yeah, not as much anymore. Not as much of a percentage. But then we had ETH today, up 5%. So, and big trading volume. Again, this is accumulation on Ethereum that we've been talking about, which is linked to upcoming spot Ethereum ETFs. They're going to be coming this summer. We're going to have Ethereum ETFs this summer. People are accumulating ETH in anticipation that what Bitcoin is now doing, ETH is going to do when its ETFs are approved. That's what's happening. And all of this is still the pre-Bitcoin halving. Again, doesn't help Dogecoin as much, but at least Dogecoin gets out of the sevens now. And maybe that was the last time we saw Dogecoin in the sevens. I don't know. But we'll see. Bitcoin pushes through 50K for the first time since late 2021. That's right. Almost 2.5 years since Bitcoin was trading at $50,000, and it is trading there again here in 2024. But what's the funny thing about it, right? All along, for the past year and 2 months, 14 months, as Bitcoin has traded up higher and higher and higher, the bears have continually said Bitcoin's going to drop lower. And what have we seen? This is Matthew Hylands. At 15K, just wait till 12K. At 20K, just wait till 18. 25, it's going to drop down. 37K, going to drop down to 30K. It's 40K. Just wait till 35. Now it's 50K. It's going to drop to 40K. Just wait. I'm gonna pick it up at 40K. But wait, you could have bought it down here at 18K just a year ago. Funny how the mind plays little games, right? As the price just goes up and up and up and up and up. But that's what we've had for the past 14 months with Bitcoin. Yes, it has had some retracements. The most recent one was like a 20% retracement. That was the time to buy. And it's not that different from Dogecoin. Dogecoin's up here at 8.2. If you weren't buying down here at 7.9, it might not go back down there. So we wait and we see how this plays out. Now, if you remember from Friday night, when we were live, this is right where Dogecoin was, right at 815. And I drew this white line over here, and I said, well, there's your short-term support is right there. That's 795, right there. And that was that line I drew during the live stream. And I said, chances are Doge will come and retest that. Well, guess what just happened? Doge just retested it today. And there it is. Again, classic trading, right? We have support. Comes back, doesn't quite retest it, comes back, retests, and then goes up. Classic trading. Dogecoin just did it. In my view, when we see that action, it is not retesting that support again. Unless, of course, you're in a bear market. Are we in a bear market, guys? Nope. Nope, we are not. Not in a bear market. So, we had the Super Bowl. You guys watched the Super Bowl? That was exciting. You guys have probably already seen this picture of, Beyonce and Jay-Z. And then who's sitting in the booth? Jack Dorsey in his Satoshi shirt. That was funny. Of course, the announcers didn't know who Jack was, right? They're just talking about Beyonce and Jay-Z. There were not any crypto ads, no ETFs. There wasn't a BlackRock ad or a Fidelity ad. So aside from that t-shirt, crypto wasn't really there. But unless you looked really closely and you caught it really, really quickly at one of those shots at Taylor Swift, if you just caught it for just a glimpse, that's what you saw. That's what you saw. Oh, if only. But why not, right? Doge. Doge could be there. What about Dogecoin? Well, Dogecoin is now, again, no longer a top 10 coin. And we knew this was going to happen. Chainlink, like I've been telling you, Chainlink had come up ahead of Doge last week. We covered that. And then Doge traded back up ahead of Chainlink. And now Chainlink has passed Doge again. So what do you think the next step is? Dogecoin's going to go on a little run, and it's most likely going to pass Chainlink again. So we'll be looking for that this week. That'll be fun to watch. It's only about 400 million behind. So, yep, we'll be watching that for Doge. Now, I happen to also own some Chainlink, and I also own some Avalanche. I also own some Cardano. So all of these right here, I do hold. Of course, I have a lot more Doge, but I'm looking for Dogecoin to make its move to get back into the top 10, back up over Chainlink. So we'll be waiting for that. And then there's the supply thing. So when we look at this, we see that the overall supply is 143 billion Dogecoin, and that changes all the time. And CoinMarketCap never is really fully caught up on how many Doge there are. So they just every once in a while, like once a month, they update the number. So it could actually be higher right now. But that's a story for another day. Getting into the whole supply of Dogecoin. That's for another day. Dogecoin rises steadily amid the indecisions of buyers and sellers. And that's what we have. We've got those just kind of waiting on Dogecoin. Many other cryptocurrencies have done better in the past year than Dogecoin, but we know how Dogecoin trades. Dogecoin goes on a run when it wants to, typically tied to some news event, some big tweet or some specific thing about Doge, and Doge will take off, and you don't know when that's going to happen. But once it does, FOMO will kick in, and then more and more people will be buying. That's how Dogecoin trades. And Again, I've been saying it over and over for the past year. That's what we're expecting. That's what we're looking for. Otherwise, it's going to trade like this, and it's going to follow Bitcoin. Again, doesn't quite trade as strong as Bitcoin when Bitcoin's going up. And when Bitcoin's going down, it trades just a little bit lower. So what does that do for Dogecoin? Well, it leads to an article like this, and this is what I've been saying. Dogecoin is on the verge of rallying against Bitcoin. And this is a different view of the chart I normally show, which is the Doge BTC trading pair. This is in a logarithmic scale. So it's just by percentages, not directly by numbers. And we've just experienced sort of a double bottom low, not seen since back in 2021. So yeah, this chart doesn't look great. We had Elon buying Twitter, which was this big green candle there. That was October of 2022, which sort of reset this sort of downward movement of that Doge BTC trading pair. But then since there wasn't anything specifically said about Dogecoin on Twitter, Dogecoin has kind of bled off versus Bitcoin. But this isn't just going to keep going down. One of these days, this is going to take off again. And that's what we're waiting for. That's what we're waiting for, is that Doge BTC trading pair. Doge is going to take off. But for now, it's still sort of in this downward trend. And that's what we see with Doge against Bitcoin. So what we typically see then, once the bull run really starts, and you would think, hey, Bitcoin hitting 50K, we're in a bull market, aren't we? Time-wise, in the 4-year cycles, we're a little early. We wouldn't have expected this kind of movement in Bitcoin until the fall. And that's what most people were predicting. But these Bitcoin ETFs, with all of this buying, has sped up the 4-year cycle. Could we be in some super cycle now? Maybe. But for now, they're kind of calling it this accelerated bull market. Bitcoin-led bull market, which means alt season will start, which means meme coin season will follow. That's right, meme coins. And yeah, meme coins go on their little runs every now and then. But just like we saw in 2021, what we're going to see is probably this 2024 meme season, the meme coin explosion, which is going to be Doge, it's going to be Sheeb, it's going to be Pepe, it's going to be Bonk, and many others. And it's just going to be crazy because you're going to have more and more new people coming into cryptocurrency, right? And they're going to buy Doge, they're going to buy Bitcoin, and then they're going to find out about all this other stuff, right? The whole DeFi world and memes and how much fun it is, and they're going to start buying this stuff. So we're going to see this huge resurgence. And I'm going to make a video about this too and talk more about this because it's gonna come. Dogecoin's going to come up to 10 cents first, and that's what this guy's saying, Crypto Tony, right? When Doge pumps, set the sights for meme season, please, because that's what it's going to be. And that's setting a target, first target, Doge, 10 cents. Get over 10 cents, then we could see it really move. So, and then world of charts. I showed this one last week. commented on the potential upward momentum of Dogecoin. And that was this one here, right? That was this chart that we were looking at. And that is when we're going to see this big gain. And that's targeting 12.5 cents. That's the kind of breakout we're going to be looking for. Is that. Michael Vandepop says altcoins will go higher than you imagine. And it's going to be led by Ethereum. And we're seeing little bits of that now, as Ethereum is actually trading better than Bitcoin. All this excitement about Bitcoin going to 50K, Ethereum is actually trading better. And with it, you've got this whole Ethereum ecosystem, like the layer 2s. Arbitrum and Optimism have been trading very well all year long so far. Now ETH's starting to take off, and ETH hasn't even had its Denkun upgrade, which is coming next month. And then ETH ETFs. This is why I think SHIB is preparing for a huge run, because it's an ERC20 token, and there's a lot of ETH whales that own a ton of SHIB tokens. And when SHIB runs, guess what else runs? Dogecoin. That's right. Dogecoin. And the same thing happens the opposite. When Dogecoin goes on a run, SHIB starts running. That's how it's worked. And there's no reason that it's going to change. So we got that going. And leverage. Look at all the shorters that just got totally squeezed out. In the last 24 hours, $80 million of Bitcoin shorters got liquidated. Short squeeze city. Bitcoin. $80 million in 24 hours. Who's shorting? With especially today, knowing how the ETFs were trading last week, where the GPTC outflows are slowing down, and the BlackRocks and the Fidelities are still buying huge chunks of Bitcoin. As this article says, even as the new spot ETFs took in billions of dollars their first weeks of trades, we had billions leaving the high-fee Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. That started with big outflows of GBTC, and the price of Bitcoin went as low as 38.5. Remember that? Remember that dipped Bitcoin 38.5? Well, what's happened since then? On February 8th, Grayscale sold off 1,850 Bitcoin. But the other ETFs added 11,000 Bitcoins. Then on February 9th, which was Friday, Grayscale sold 2,252 Bitcoins. But the other ETFs bought 13,000 Bitcoins. You see what's happening? That's why Bitcoin price goes up. And and you look at that and you say, what was going to happen on Monday? Again, ETFs don't trade on the weekends. What was going to happen on Monday? This trend was going to continue. And that's what we saw with Bitcoin today. Right at 9 o'clock, like a rocket, took off from 48K up to 50K. Like a rocket. BlackRock, Fidelity, ARK, and retail investors FOMOing in, buying Bitcoin. Crazy. And now we've got Bitcoin, again, back up over 50K. It is not retracing. It's not retracing. The lowest it hit here on this retrace was 49.5 and just turned around and traded right back up. Craziness. Getting carried by Bitcoin. Yep, right now, Doge is getting carried by Bitcoin. Hi, Bulldozer. Riding on the blockchain, headed to the moon. Dogecoin at the spotlight. Spotlight blasting off soon. This ain't just money, it's the people's coin. A digital revolution. Together we joined. Nice. Doge will have its day. For now, hey, this is green, right? We're seeing positive. This is green for Doge. Again, not as high a percentage as Bitcoin, but everybody's portfolios are turning green, which is good. Doge will move without Elon. It won't fly without Elon, though. Elon hasn't said anything for a couple reasons. First, he's still in this lawsuit about this Dogecoin trading thing from 2021. I'm guessing his attorneys have told him to cool it on the Dogecoin talk, but you know, Elon's one of those guys, I guess he's going to say what he wants to say, but maybe he's keeping it cool on that. 2, he's not ready to unleash the Doge. For X payments, he's got to get all these money transmitter licenses, like he said, in all the United States, in order to get X payments to turn that on X. He said he wants all 50 states done. And he says that'll take probably through the summer. So we've got like 6 months to wait for that. And I know it's hard, it's 6 months away, but that's the timeline right now. Tesla. Is he going to do something else with Tesla? Maybe. Turn on accepting Bitcoin payments, or maybe he'll just do Doge. It's written in the code. We saw it. Like the Cybertruck checkout, it's got cryptocurrency Doge. It's written right there. Just wait for it to, the switch to be flipped. Turn it on. Doge. These are the kind of things we're waiting for. We also have this the SpaceX rocket here, targeting Wednesday, February 14th for a Falcon 9 launch of the intuitive machines IM-1 mission to the moon from Launch Complex 39A in Florida. But there's no Doge. These guys are all commenting here. Doge 1, Doge to the moon? Nope, there's no Doge on this one. So maybe the next one. So we hope IM-1 is successful so that they can then do an IM-2. And then the Doge satellite can go with that one. So let's hope for that. But yeah, this is this week. Maybe Wednesday. It's pretty cool. That's what it looks like. Elon's just still doing his space thing. He's got a great team, SpaceX. This rocket's going off all the time. There's another big Starship test coming up too in a few weeks. That's going to be cool. Again, not directly related with Dogecoin, but it's Elon related. I also saw a video of a Cybertruck in the boring tunnel below the streets of Las Vegas. It's the first time I'd seen a Cybertruck going through there. I wonder if they paid Dogecoin for that trip. Doge is staying low, waiting for the right moment to explode. We see that. Doge bull run always starts after BTC breaks the all-time high. We did see that early 2021, Bitcoin went to 64K and then was retracing when Doge took off. That is correct. If I go on the weekly here, this was early 2021 Bitcoin, traded up, hit an all-time high here in April. It's about April 12th, like 64K, and then was going down when Dogecoin took off. And that's when Dogecoin rocketed up to 74 cents. So that was after Bitcoin had hit its all-time high. That's what happened. Hey, Jock, how are you? Matt says, I picked up a bit of Bitcoin starting on its way down from 65K. Started DCAing from 30 all the way down to 15. Wish I would have gotten to Dogecoin sooner. But you did get into some Bitcoin at 15K. That's pretty good because you're up 3x on that. Dogecoin's low for this bear market was 4.9 cents. So you wouldn't have a 3K on any of that Dogecoin at its lowest, which was in the summer of 2022, until Doge hits 15 cents. And we got a long way to go before we get there. Yariel thinks the top is going to be this year and not next year, not 2025. Market didn't respect the last bull market. That's why we should start going up by now. Could be. I think if Donald Trump wins the election in November, it will be good for crypto. It'll be good for the stock market. It'll be good for crypto markets. Crypto markets will think two things. One, change of leadership. Trump already has NFTs. He's got a bunch of ETH. We know that. We know he knows that. And two, that means Gary Gensler is gone from the SEC. That'll be good for crypto. So yes. And again, it's every fall, every 4 years, there's a presidential election. In the years we have seen a change from either Republicans to Democrats or Democrats to Republicans, the markets have responded positively. And I would expect this year we would see real positivity. So this fall is going to be great. We're only in February and we've got Bitcoin hitting 50K in February. This shouldn't have happened this soon. You look at this Bitcoin chart on the daily, it's like this kind of movement doesn't happen in the retest year. It happens in the bull market year, which is supposed to be 2025. And we're seeing this in early 2024 already. This is why you hear some of these other YouTubers talking about Bitcoin to 200K, 300K, 400K, because this is already unprecedented. This early on. Very cool. That's why we're talking about epic bull runs across crypto. This is the cycle. We're going to have not only all of this excitement from the Bitcoin ETFs, we're going to have ETH ETFs, and we're going to have Dogecoin being used as currency. On X, I hope as much as Elon can make that happen. So when I go and I look at the top 3 cryptocurrencies on CoinMarketCap, I want to see Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Dogecoin. I don't want to see Solana. I don't want to see Cardano. I don't want to see XRP. I want to see Dogecoin right here. And we already looked at that. And that would be $5 Dogecoin. No, $5 Dogecoin was up here ahead of Ethereum. This was like, what, $2.50 to $3 Dogecoin. Would be right below Ethereum. If Ethereum stayed where it was, but you know it's not. It's going to go up too. Those are the numbers we're talking about. So yeah. So I'm rooting for Bitcoin. I want Bitcoin to go to 200 or 300K. Yes. Yes. I don't have a lot of Bitcoin. I've got a lot more Dogecoin. I've got a lot more of these others. Not as much Bitcoin, because I was betting on altcoins as I was accumulating through last year. Because Bitcoin went on this big run back in January. Let me just get this reset here. Back in January of 2023. The beginning of the year, Bitcoin was like at 16.7, 16.8. And in January, it went on this big run up to 20K. And so while Bitcoin was doing all this at 25K, come up to 28K to 30K, I was like, Bitcoin's already doubled in price for the year. And so I was thinking, well, with my monthly allotments that I was putting in, I'm going to go into altcoins. So that's when I was buying altcoins. And even a lot of those altcoins haven't done what Bitcoin has done since October. I mean, this is just crazy right here. Just for Bitcoin alone, from October 13th to now, 88%. Now, some altcoins have done better, but not Doge. What is Doge in that period now? 42%, so about half, unfortunately. But we know how Doge trades, and it goes on its own when it goes. And when Doge has a sell-off like we saw here, at the beginning of the year, it sells off harder than Bitcoin does. Yes, trading with leverage is dumb, Jeff. Some people make money doing it, but then they also lose money too. And many times they're going to lose more. Rodrigo, Dogecoin is always a good buy now, just like all these charts I've seen, right? And I've been showing that when Dogecoin dips, just like we saw, this morning, Dogecoin down here below 8 cents this morning. That was the dip. Are we going to see Doge back down here again? We don't know. But it's always good to have some cash ready in case on the dips. Because Dogecoin will outperform Bitcoin at some point in time going forward. It's too late when Doge is already rocketing. Because it could be 15, 16 cents before you know it and then keep going. Yeah, many are saying Doge won't run until BTC tops out. Doge will run when there is a newsworthy or hype event that people believe in and start FOMOing in. Kriss for president. No. Thanks for the super chat, Aperculum. You're a professional music producer. Can I make a Dogecoin custom song for your channel? 100% free to support Doge. Yep, you can email me on my YouTube channel. You can hit the about, and you'll see chriscrypto@gmail.com. K's in Kriss and crypto. But that's where my email address is. So yeah, send me an email. That'll be fun. I like playing good music vibes. I'll put it together with some with another Doge video thing, and we'll make a cool intro. That'll be fun. We will do that. Mars says late. ETH looking strong. Yeah, we talked about ETH. You missed it. Sorry. But yeah, we were talking about Ethereum. Even Michael Vandepop is talking about ETH. ETH is going to be strong this year. Denkun upgrade, cheaper gas fees, spot ETH ETFs, SHIB. It's going to go crazy. That's going to be cool. So yes, I'm betting on ETH to do well. Look at that. ETH is now up 6% for the day. Just keeps going higher. Look at that. This is the type of movement where it's like the real deal, right? Bitcoin, Ethereum, they're going to be strong now. That's what we're seeing moving. And Cardano will probably do well. It's at 56 cents. Solana is 110. I still don't believe Solana's at that price, but Solana's got a lot of support. So, all right. Bitcoin holding 50K. Some thought, oh, it'll just touch 50 and then it'll sell back down to 48. Nope. Didn't do it. Didn't do it. So Doge trading up now too. 823. Again, like I said at the beginning, 815 was our former support line, became resistance. Doge traded down, came down below 8 cents, which was our longer term support line that we had from the end of last week. Hit that accumulation time here. Doge trades up, tests 815 as resistance, trades down, and then trades past it, comes back, retests 815 before trading back up. Classic trading. And this is what, if you weren't here earlier, this is what I traced, or this is part of it, was this classic trading of hitting 815, coming down, trading up, retest, and then trading higher. That's a classic trading move. Classic trading move for Doge. So right now, 815 is short-term support. We can still look at 8 cents for longer term, but right now, with Bitcoin trading up over 50K and not retracing back down, it's looking pretty strong. Looking strong. Ba, 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 ba. I'm not going for Sol. Nope. I can't buy everything. I had Solana. I made money on Solana. I sold it and I swapped it for Cardano. Because typically what I'd seen in the past is Solana does a run and then Cardano lags and does its run later. Well, it's doing it a lot later now because I missed out on a lot of that big Solana run up to $100. But again, this is a smaller part of my portfolio. Nowhere near what I have in Doge. Algorand has been a laggard. It's traded okay here today. Very similar to Dogecoin in its trading today. Because I've got a lot of algo. That's what I bet on last year, and it's been a long bear market for Algorand. But I'm holding on. I still have it staked. I do my voting. I get a lot of Algorand rewards. So my algo stash keeps growing every other month, even though I don't buy anymore. So that's pretty cool. No, not the Doge father, but I'll take it. seeing that graph, War Mentor says, seeing that graph seems like next bear is going to be rough or a pretty good bull. Yeah, I'm not talking bears until 2026. Then we can start talking about bears. Maybe sometime during 2025 late, but could see a dip in the summer of 2025. I don't know, but that's a year and a half away. I'm not talking bears at all. Everything that I'm reading, everything that I'm seeing, it's all bullish for crypto. It's all bullish. And we're seeing it across the board with crypto. My portfolio is going up. Is your portfolio going up? Mine's looking pretty good today. I made a lot of money today just sitting here. So this is good times. We've been waiting a long time. Now for Doge, again, not as big a gains, but it'll come. It'll come. Doge haters are in full force. Makes you think we're really, really close. Yeah, Razorback, that's true. The more you start hearing the people hating on Doge, that's when they'll surprise you. That's when the surprise comes. Exactly. I still like this one. There we go. That's when Doge will surprise you. Doge shows up in the Super Bowl. These are all bots and computers buying and selling. There's a lot of them, yes. Doge trading volume dropped badly in the past few weeks. Hope we get above 11 cents, back on track. Yeah, a lot of the Doge trading has been bot trading. Absolutely. Some retail accumulation and some swing trading. Yes. Some people getting tired of Dogecoin and wanted to go chase something else that's popping. That happens as well. But Doge will go on its run. Yep, Ryan, back in 2021, before Elon was even going to be on Saturday Night Live and people started calling him the Doge father, people were calling me that. That was good times. It was fun. That was fun. And also on liquidations, we can come down here and we can see specifically what's been happening with Doge. And I'll bet there's a lot of short squeezing of Doge going on. And we'll see that in red. Not too much. It looks like there haven't been a lot of leverage trades in Dogecoin over the past 7-8 hours. About 100K this morning in shorts on Doge. That's not much. So yeah, not too much on Doge, on the short or long. Mostly because all the excitement was on Bitcoin today. But you look on the hourly and you look at the Bitcoin chart and you're like, man, look at that. Just in 1 hour alone, $24 million of shorts got squeezed out. $24 million in 1 hour. That's crazy. And a lot of that was probably when Bitcoin traded up here this morning up to 49K. Then a bunch of people opened up big short positions right there, 49K. And Bitcoin said, nope, I'm not done yet. And then it went up to 50, liquidating $24 million. That's a short squeeze right there. Big money. So why people are trading with leverage, I don't know. You can make money DCAing and holding. I mean, Bitcoin's at 50K now. The buying is going to continue. What's happening is you've got these wealthy people who don't want to go through and buy on an exchange for Bitcoin. They call up their broker and they say, get me some of that Bitcoin. And the broker, if they're in BlackRock, they're buying their spot ETF. And that's how they are exposing their wealthy clients to Bitcoin. You also have those saving for retirement in 401k plans, for instance, right? And your 401k plan, it's got a bunch of money in it, but you can only trade what's on the stock market. You can't trade crypto. But you might be able to trade ETFs. And you can take your retirement money, move it over into Bitcoin. And guess what? If you have an ETF that's in a retirement plan and you triple that money, guess what? You don't have to pay taxes on that gain. No taxes on that gain. The only tax you pay is when you start withdrawing from your retirement account when you're retired, and you're only paying on what you take out. That huge gain that you might make, you don't have to pay taxes on that. I looked into my 401k because I have mine with Fidelity, and I would have thought the Fidelity Bitcoin ETF would have been available, but it's not. My plan doesn't allow me to do that. Otherwise, I would have been doing it too. Knowing where Bitcoin's going. From what I've heard, El Salvador just continues to buy Bitcoin. The president is just buying for their country, not selling. And they were down for a while because they started buying in when Bitcoin was high. Now they're in profit overall on their Bitcoin, and he's still buying. That's been good for that country. Yes, I got my Robinhood tax form. It had my stock buys and sells, and it had my crypto buys and sells. Yep, it was all in there. For the ones that I sold, yes. Now, I didn't transfer anything back onto Robinhood to sell. I haven't done that yet. So that'll be maybe later this year, or maybe I'll just do it all through Coinbase. I don't know. But a lot of stuff I bought on Robinhood, I moved over to Exodus or my Ledger, and I haven't moved any of that back on. So I don't know how Robinhood's going to, they're not going to know what the buy price was for that. So it'll be interesting in what they do. But yeah, I'm all set for my taxes this year now. I just have to sum up everything on my 8949 form because of Binance US doesn't give you the 1099, and anything you do on a DeFi platform, you don't get a 1099 for those. So you've got to do this 8949 form, which if you guys saw my epic tax live stream back in December, I went through all the details of how to prepare for tax season. And I did that back in December. So you still had some time before the end of the year if you wanted to do any more sales, lock in some other profits because you were down and you could even that out. Or if you had some gains you didn't want to pay taxes on and you had something that was under, you could sell that and then you would minimize your tax exposure. So that's why we were talking about that back in December. Now it's February, people get their W-2s, they're like preparing to do their taxes and they're asking all these questions. And it's like, you should have been thinking about that back in December, preparing. But That's how it goes. But yeah, the Robinhood tax form is easy, and it was more comprehensive than I thought it was going to be. So that was nice. My Coinbase one is pages and pages and pages long. It's like 35 pages of stuff on my Coinbase. It's a really long one because I was doing more trading on Coinbase. BTC next stop 52.8. Let's go to the daily and let's see where we have next line. Yeah, we marked it right here. See that little red line right there? We did mark that. And that's at, well, on my chart, it's 52.2. But then we did have support there. This was in November of 2021 at about 53.4. So yeah, right in that area, 52.8. You could call it that. Sure. That's that little peak right there. September 2021. So yeah, you could say that. Let's turn that one red so we can see that. That's not that far away from where we are today. Not too far away. Yeah, Bukele bought BTC when it was around 43. Yeah, but then he continued buying through the bear market. So he was bringing his average down as he was buying more. There was a tweet about it a number of months ago that I saw that sort of summarized all of his buys, and then was and it was when he had become green, in the green on his overall stash. And now, of course, with Bitcoin at 50K, he's in huge profit. Well, not as much as MicroStrategy and Michael Saylor, who is, God, what's his profit now? I've got his chart because I do the MicroStrategy chart here. Let's see what this one is. Last we looked at this was when Bitcoin was at 44,300 and the profit was $1.8 billion. But now at 50K, $2.8 billion. MicroStrategy just made $1 billion in just a few weeks. Isn't that crazy? $1 billion in just a few weeks, just by having this Bitcoin. Unrealized gains, yes, but that's crazy. $2.8 billion. Wow. Good morning. Enjoy your life from the Philippines. We've got great charts we're looking at for your morning, my Monday evening. Bitcoin is holding 50K, very strong. And Doge, not dropping back to 815 yet, staying up here in the 820s. So we'll see. We'll see if Doge stays up there. Yeah, ABCDE, we were talking about Doge's trading earlier in the stream about how it has followed Bitcoin, but not quite at the same percentage. And then came back and retested 815 as support and now is moving up. While ETH is up to like 26,500, which is a much bigger gain than what either Doge or Bitcoin has done today. ETH even more, which means that what happened with Bitcoin dominance, ETH started trading up to 50K. The Bitcoin dominance went up for when Bitcoin traded up. But then when ETH started trading up, Bitcoin dominance dropped back down. Bitcoin dominance is now even lower than when Bitcoin started its move at 9 o'clock this morning. Isn't that incredible? because we're heading into alt season now, altcoin season, being led by Ethereum. It's going to be Solana. It's going to be Cardano. XRP is probably going to go on a run sometime. And we're going to see this Bitcoin dominance drop back below 50 and go down into the 40s. That's coming, particularly with Ethereum and the Ethereum spot ETFs, most likely coming in May. We're going to get through the Bitcoin halving. There's going to be excitement with Bitcoin up until the halving. There's probably going to be a post-halving lull into May, but that's when all eyes are going to be on ETH. That's what I see playing out. And then Doge, again, it's going to go on its big run at a time when you least expect it. It's going to go and it's going to run. So probably tomorrow I'm going to do my meme coin video and talk about meme runs, because the news is pretty quiet on Dogecoin. So I'll include talking about Dogecoin, mention some of the things we talked about earlier in the live stream here, but also Sheep, Pepe, Bonk, and these other newer ones, because the memes they're gonna run, and you're gonna get more and more buying into these. Ryan says, I least expect it now. Yeah, I do too, but not quite yet. I'm not ready to call that yet. I mean, George, Cryptos Are Us, he was very excited this morning about this big move up to 49K, and then following it with the, this move to 50 is just huge for Bitcoin. He wasn't on when it hit 50. He had already gotten off, but he was calling it. He called it. Just said, it's going to keep going. And it did. Because he's probably one of the most bullish guys there is on YouTube. Everything's always positive with him. But it's been playing out. So it should be a fun live stream tonight that George will have. It'll be fun. And he'll be talking about DCAing, and he'll be talking all the same stuff. So what made Bitcoin move? Curtis asks. So it was in this article on CoinDesk. This is what's happening for the most part. I mean, there's a lot of retail behind it as well, but it's this right here on Thursday, February 8th. Again, we've had a lot of grayscale selling, because this is all of the funds that have been in this trust for the futures ETF that Grayscale's had for years, but all these people were locked into it and they couldn't sell. Hundreds of thousands of Bitcoins have been in this. And then when Grayscale's was a conversion of their spot ETF, a conversion from their futures ETF to the spot ETF. And so with that, all of their clients they had in that Grayscale trust were going to move over into this spot. So this was a contentious thing with the SEC, that Grayscale ended up suing the SEC to be allowed to do this. All of the others, BlackRock, Fidelity, ARK, and the others, were all creating new spot ETFs with no Bitcoin clients, because they haven't been able to offer their clients up until last month anything in crypto. So what's been happening, as soon as all those ETFs were approved, you had a lot of these Grayscale holders selling out of the ETF, which meant that Grayscale then had to sell the corresponding BTC, because they needed the cash, right? Because a lot of these people were selling because they haven't been able to sell for years, and they were booking profits. Others were selling because they didn't want to continue to pay the big fees. Grayscale had big fees, like 5 times the amount of fees that you could get with BlackRock or Fidelity. So people who still wanted to be in Bitcoin were selling the Grayscale and then buying over at BlackRock. So what you had, what everybody was watching was the outflows of Grayscale versus the inflows for all of the spot ETFs. And for the first week, there were more outflows than inflows. So Bitcoin's price went down. Last week, it turned around. And by Friday, Grayscale sold 1,850 Bitcoins. But the 9 ETFs bought 11,000 Bitcoins. Price goes up. What happened on Friday, February 9th? Grayscale sold 2,252 Bitcoin, but the other ETFs bought 13,000 Bitcoin. So basically, it's turning around. More buyers than sellers. We're talking a lot of Bitcoin here. 13,000 Bitcoin in a day. That's a net gain of about 10,800 Bitcoin. Price goes up. That was Friday. Saturday, Sunday, there's no ETF trading. So everything was quiet. And then this morning at 9 o'clock, right when trading starts on those ETFs, guess what happens? Price of Bitcoin going up because BlackRock, Fidelity, ARK, all of them are buying more Bitcoin because they have clients who are buying into their ETFs. Price goes up. That's what that is today. I would have expected that overnight tonight, we would see Bitcoin. And now that Bitcoin's holding so well, I'm probably not going to expect it to go down as much. But my guess, and we'll check this on when I'm live again on Wednesday, but I would guess that Bitcoin would probably settle down into this range tonight, somewhere around here, 49.5 to 49.8. And maybe trade up and down in here. And then by 9 o'clock tomorrow, guess what's going to happen? Boom. We're going to see Bitcoin take off again. This is the kind of trading I would expect overnight. And then Tuesday morning, same thing's going to happen. Guaranteed? No, but that's what I would expect. Something like that. Doge 1 mission is not the Doge 1 mission. Tim is correct. The Doge 1 part got postponed. Here is the SpaceX tweet just 2 hours ago, targeting February 14th for the Falcon 9 launch, Intuitive Machines IM-1 mission to the moon from Launch Complex 39A. And here is the IM-1 lunar lander in the rocket, ready to go. This is the IM-1 mission. There was supposed to be a second thing sitting in here, which was going to be the satellite, the Doge 1 satellite. Doge 1 satellite was not provided. And so that was from, I showed this last week, if you guys weren't here, which I guess you guys won't if Ravi isn't, if you were asking. Because this was a geometric, right? Geometric Energy Corporation. So this is the source of the news, Ravi. Geometric Energy Corporation, right here. They had to rebook the Doge 1 mission after IM-1 because they didn't make the IM-1 with their satellite. So they have rebooked, and for rebooking, Elon and SpaceX made Geometric pay more Dogecoin for rebooking. So Doge 1 is going to happen at some point in time in the future, maybe when there's an IM2. So what we're hoping for is for this IM1 to be successful. We want the rocket launch to be successful. We want to see this lander go to the moon, land on the moon, let NASA do all their experiments, which they have all loaded up here onto this lunar lander, so that then they can do an IM2 and do the Doge 1 satellite. Doge is getting its own satellite because a company made it. And they're going to be selling advertising and data surrounding that satellite. That satellite is going to go around the moon, not around Earth. It's going to go around the moon, and it's going to beam information and data back to Earth. So this was Geometric's business model. Unfortunately, the third-party company in the UK that was supposed to deliver the satellite didn't make the deadline. So, yes, Tim, I agree as well. Why Geometric went and created all of these stupid ETH tokens, FO and RO and whatever they were called, right? They should have just done it all in Doge. But they made their own, probably to profit. That's my guess. So they created their own tokens, and they'll profit from it. So it's all about money with them. Starlink X Doge. What do you think? It's all coming. That's what Radio Doge is all about too. Starlink will get you, right, the communication, right, anywhere. But how about payments anywhere? Radio Doge. Going to be awesome. Going to be awesome. Yeah, John, how about Elon payments on X? We're waiting. Mentioned this earlier in the stream. There's going to be these money transmitter licenses, which they now have like in 20 states. Elon said last month that they already had half of them, but the public records are only showing about 20 out of the 50 states. So, and he has said he wants those money transmitter licenses approved for all of the United States. So then he can roll out X payments for United States and then begin working on other countries. So what does that mean for Doge? We'll see. We don't know yet. But all of those things that Elon has been talking about, all the little things about Doge, it just makes sense to me for him to be able to use it on X. He might just start out with the dollar, since he's only going to be doing United States first before he goes worldwide. But crypto, and Dogecoin particularly, should be coming. How many cryptos will X payments support? I would like it to be 1, but it could be 2. Elon has only talked about Dogecoin and Bitcoin. He has not talked about any other cryptocurrency, despite what other cryptocurrencies followers and supporters have said. Elon has not talked about them. He's only accepted Bitcoin for payments for Tesla cars. He's only accepted Dogecoin as payment for Tesla merch, for SpaceX, for the Doge 1 mission, for the Boring Company, for rides in the tunnel, and for his burnt perfume was only Dogecoin. I think he was doing that to test it out and see whether Dogecoin was going to work. And now he knows it will. And so all the little hints have been there, but he can't outright say it until he's got a working product. That's my guess. Yes, I've heard about the Dogecoin dev team, and I talk about it a lot here, John. We talked about it last week, gave an update on all the projects that the dev team's currently working on, including LeapDoge and Radio Doge. Yep. We go to the Dogecoin Foundation website every now and then and see the updates, and they also post on X. So, yep, this is the channel for news. You gotta log into Kriss Packs. Still hoping Elon loves Doge. He does. It's gonna come. Elon gonna add baby Lamborghini. Funny. What happens when Doge goes from a primarily hold crypto to a spend transfer crypto? It'll be a combination, I think. They're homies McFly. It'll be a combination. I mean, I have accumulated a lot of Dogecoin, but I've spent some. Again, I've said this last week. The power of Dogecoin is you can buy it at 8 cents. And then when it's 80 cents a Dogecoin, you have 10 times the buying power for that Dogecoin that you bought at 8 cents. People will spend Dogecoin. They won't just hold it. Dogecoin's never going to go to $50,000. It's not going to be like Bitcoin. It does not have a hard cap. It is not finite. Dogecoin just keeps minting new Doge every minute, which is what makes it good as a currency. And Elon has said this again and again and again. Mark Cuban agrees, said the same thing. That's what makes it a good currency. And if you read the Bitcoin white paper, it's talking about e-cash, right? It's talking about a digital form of money to be able to spend and to use. And Bitcoin is not that anymore. Bitcoin is now $50,000 on its way to $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 being held in these big spot ETFs and MicroStrategy who are hoarding this Bitcoin, holding it because the price is going to go up. None of those people are spending their Bitcoin. Bitcoin is not going to be considered a currency at all. But Doge will. And in this cycle, at least, once Dogecoin becomes the payment on X, the price is going to go crazy. We are early. We are so early with Dogecoin right now. It's going to go crazy. A lot of people will sell. As soon as Dogecoin starts mooning, they're going to book profits. Yeah, that happens. That's going to happen. There's going to be a lot of selling pressure, and we're going to be watching it as it goes up and watch the different levels where we think we're going to see profit taking. I've already looked at 35 cents, 42 cents, definitely 74 cents, the previous all-time high. We're going to have a tough time getting past that. And $1 is going to be really hard because people are going to start selling as soon as it's like 95 cents. Oh, close enough to $1, I'm selling. Because they think it's going to dump as soon as it hits $1. That's just, we've talked about this. Everyone seems to agree. Yep, that's probably going to happen. Once it eventually trades over at $1, it'll be like what Bitcoin is doing at 50K here, right? It'll trade up and down, and eventually it's just going to take off higher. Most likely that's going to happen. So we're just waiting. I've got a huge stack of Dogecoin and I'm going to sell some of it. Because I did not sell any back in 2021. I held it all. I still have that Dogecoin. Next big run, I'm going to be selling some, taking some profits. But not all of it. Because we don't know what's going to happen. Even with Bitcoin, we talk about these 4-year cycles and, when's going to be the next big bear market in crypto, assuming the price of Bitcoin is going to drop back down after its next all-time high. That may not happen. Now that you've got these big Bitcoin spot ETFs and all these hoarders of Bitcoin, who's going to be selling? Bitcoin goes to 200K. Who's selling? The institutions aren't going to sell. They're going to hold because they think it's going to go up to $1 million. That's what Cathie Wood has already said. Bitcoin by 2030 is going to be $1 million. They're hoarding. So we may not see the next bear market. It may be this super cycle and it just might just keep going up. That could be. Which is why I say we're still early. Buying all this crypto like we've been accumulating for the past year. Pretty cool. And now we're seeing profits. I made a lot of profit today. Everything's in the green. Everything's going up. Some more than others, but I mean, some of these are like double digits. I think IMX has cooled off a little bit because it was totally overbought. So IMX is cooling off. But still, you look at this on the daily and you're like, yeah, that's a good run here. For the past 2 weeks, just up. It's nice to see. Overall, crypto bubbles, everything's green. Look at that. All green. I'll talk about Bonk probably tomorrow when I do the meme coin thing. There's Doge right there. Just hanging out. Not great, but green. So that's what's going on. On the daily, not a great chart. It's not really bullish. This isn't a huge move. We need to see Dogecoin coming up to 9 cents again to start to see that movement. And it's just not happening yet for Doge. So it's delayed. Yeah. Taking some profits on IMX and buying Doge is probably a good move. Right? Sell high, buy low. That's what I tried to do between Solana and Cardano, but I did it too soon. I think I had the right idea, but I was too soon because I did it months ago, and it was before Solana went up to $100. So I missed out on some of that. But I mean, but at that time, Cardano was 24 cents. So I've already doubled the Cardano, but I could have like tripled from the Solana or quadrupled the Solana from where I sold it. But those things happen. I was a little early. Right idea. All right, gang. Great trading today across crypto, led by Bitcoin. Obviously, we'll see if Bitcoin follows my path tomorrow of what I think may happen, which will be another green day for crypto trading. There'll be some profit taking probably, but the institutions are buying. The big boys are buying, which just to me means we're going to see more green. So that's what I'm looking at. I'll be live again Wednesday at 5 o'clock. Be Valentine's Day. Yes, we're going to have a Doge Valentine's Day live stream at 5 o'clock on Wednesday. So join me then. Until then, I hope you all are well. We'll see you next time.
Dogecoin, which started as a complete joke, has like skyrocketed to not a joke anymore. It hit an all-time high of almost 10 cents yesterday, but it was so minuscule you wouldn't have understood why you have millions of shares.
Didn't Elon tweet that too?
And arguably, the most entertaining outcome and the most ironic outcome would be that Dogecoin becomes the currency of Earth in the future.